And the second semi-final from the 2019 US Open 9-ball championship. The world #1 and world champion Joshua Filler is already safely into this year's final, but one spot remains to be claimed. Will it be Chang or Wu Jiaqing? Before we find out, here's a quick reminder of how each player fared in the last round. The penultimate quarter-final of this year's event produced plenty of drama. Liu Haitao dominated the early exchanges, at one stage leading 9-3 against Chang Yulong. He even secured his 10th rack, but Chang hadn't read the script and fought back to level before pulling off an improbable victory. The contrast couldn't have been greater in the last remaining quarter-final. Wu Jiaqing dominated from the start. His opponent, Wang Can, failed to pot a single ball through the 11 racks, and the match finished as a whitewash. Wu into the last 4 of the US Open. The opening semi-final was a closely fought contest, with Jeff DeLuna enjoying his fair share of luck in the early exchanges. But Filler remained patient, and when the opportunity arose, levelled at 8-all before closing out to win. Who will he face in the final? It's time to find out. Wu won the lag, broke and ran out to claim the first rack. A dry break from Wu in rack 2 allowed Chang to the table. He didn't look back, levelling the match. The semi-finals are a race to 11, with the winner breaking, and your commentators are Michael McMullen and Ted Lerner.
Well, that's not going to work for Chang, but it may work for Wu. Is he trying to make that yellow one at the top of the rack in the side? And had he made that, he would have been off to the races.
How much of a factor could experience be if this match goes close, Ted, as you expect it's going to? Wu Jiaqing has been there at the very business end of the World Championship. We know that he's won it. He's got that bit more experience of winning the very biggest matches and the very biggest occasions. How much of a factor do you see that being, or do you think Lung has sufficient experience to deal with that?
No, I do not think it's going to be a factor at all. It'll just come down to, who's feeling better on this particular day and who feels stronger about their game. I think both of them have a very strong history of playing in big matches and winning. I mean, when you win the China Open 2 times, he's the only person to ever do that. Joshua Filler won the China Open as well, by the way.
Yeah, 2010 and 2014, Chang Yulong won that China Open.
So he gets out of that safety, and it's okay. Nothing to a pocket. So it'll be Wu Jiaqing, still on the 1 ball. You can see using those balls as a blocker. Did he get there? Appears he did, yes. So using those little clusters as walls to hide behind.
Foul, illegal contact. Please hold the clock.
Now it appeared that he did that on purpose.
Start the clock, please.
So what was the thinking behind that, Ted?
Well, there's still areas of problem areas on the table. So you've got the 3 tied up with the 6. The 4 is tied up with the 7. But I'm not sure about that. That's just a couldn't get an out. Couldn't see a way out.
Extension, please.
He's gambling effectively, I suppose, that he wants to leave it to Wu Jiaqing to try and sort it out, and maybe taking the gamble that he won't.
Well, Wu's going to tie him up again. There's a lot of areas on this table to play safe. Look at that. There is a 3 foul rule in 9-ball. If your opponent fouls 3 times in a row, he will lose the rack. So this could be foul number 2. That's a pretty nice safety there.
Yeah, he's played that to absolute perfection. So Chang may be regretting his earlier shot selection. Well, fantastic hits, and look where this cue ball's going.
That's what we call a Chang Yu-Lung special. He was doing that all night last night in his comeback against Lu Haitao. Crazy shots. Look at this. 4 rails, makes contact with the 1, and he just so happens to use that angle to get safe. How about that?
That's one of the best shots we've seen in the whole tournament.
Oh, when he causes the foul.
Foul, illegal contact. Hold the clock, please.
Yeah, I think you're going to see it all in this match. These two very familiar with each
Hold
other.
the clock, please.
They've played in the Taiwanese Pro Pool League in tournaments every month over many years. As I said, Wu originally from Taiwan, so very, very familiar with each other. I think these guys are going to throw everything they have out there.
Ball in hand at this level usually means end of rack, but of course it's far from a straightforward run out from here, so on this occasion there is still hope for Wu.
Well, he's just got to get that position on the 6. There's plenty of area there to do it, but it only goes into 1 pocket. And the thing about Chang Yu-Lung at this point, after that incredible comeback from 9-3 down, and the way he escaped with that victory, it just looked impossible on several occasions. It just looked like Lu was going to grab that match. I'm sure it did a lot for his confidence. He can come out here today and play loose, freewheel it, knowing that he kind of wasn't supposed to be here.
And he hasn't lost a match yet. You mentioned Wu Jiaqing had to go to the loser's side to get through. Chang Yu-Lung has come straight through on the winner's side and has won 6 out of 6.
Look at that. In order to get the position, he had to bank it. Man, this guy. Do not leave your seat to get a cold one while he's shooting. There is not a shot on the table he's not afraid of. Now look at this. He's going to have to come with another one. He overhit it.
Well, it was a fantastic escape, a great safety shot that ultimately forced the chance for him, but he's having to play a succession of really good shots to try to take full advantage of the opening.
Does anything phase this guy? Most players would lose position once and it would be a slippery slope. He just gets up and hits these shots that are so difficult. He's up 2-1. So casual about it.
And that's one of the finest racks we've seen anyone win in the whole tournament.
After a dry break from Chang in the fourth, there followed a period of safety play over the 1 ball before Chang finally ran out and moved to a 3-1 lead. A scratch on the break by Chang in rack 5 was punished by Wu, who narrowed the gap to 1.
Wu Jiaqing closes to 3-2.
Welcome back to Las Vegas for the second semi-final of the 2019 US Open, where Chang Yu-lung currently leads Wu Jiaqing 3-2 in the race to 11. This is now rack 6, commentary from Michael McMullen and Ted Lerner.
He's got a ball down and a shot on the 1. This is a terrific break. This is the kind of thing that Wu did against Wang Can. Yeah, that's ask any pool player, ask our very own Carl Boys about that. When you don't have any support, it can be a very frustrating and depressing endeavor. And not to have to worry about how to pay the rent and how you're going to put food on the table. That lifts a big cloud from over your head, and you can concentrate on your sport.
Remarkably, that's the first time someone's actually potted a ball from the break since Wu did so himself in the opening rack. On that occasion, he ran out from there. We were talking earlier about Wu Jiaqing winning the World 9-ball title at the age of 16, which is remarkable enough in itself. But as you said, Ted, he didn't start playing till he was 9, so perhaps even more remarkable was that he became world champion after playing the game for only about 6 or 7 years.
Well, a few months after he won that World 9-ball championship, he went to Fujairah in the United Arab Emirates and won the World 8-ball championship despite having never played 8-ball. I mean, that's what a child prodigy he was.
Yeah, he won over $100,000 in total that year, which actually isn't easy to do in 9-ball. There are never more than a handful of real big money tournaments like this in the course of a year. How would you know what to do with $100,000 when you're 16?
Well, this cue ball is going to move. Look at that. Going to get position. A little bit off there, but nice pot. Very daring shot there.
Well, I think there's room for this 5 to slip past the 8 into the corner. Well, there wasn't, but there was an easy safety to get in behind the 8. So still only one break and run in the course of this semi-final for either player.
I like watching this guy come to the table with a difficult out, because you know he's dreaming up something incredible. Oh, there's a little gap there.
Extension, please.
No surprise to see him call the extension. He knows how important it is to get this shot right, and equally aware if he gets it wrong, could be rack over.
Well, that was a good job just to hit it.
Yeah, I think he's been a little unlucky there. It looked like he might get in behind the 8. And you're right, Ted. The hit itself was perhaps deserving of a bit more good fortune.
So this is a big one here. Long cut shot.
Turned 30 earlier this year. Remarkable to think he's already almost twice the age he was when he won the world title.
Seems like he's been around forever. So this has been really well played from Jiaqing. Not many weaknesses in his game, are there?
No, absolutely not. We've been talking about what a fine all-rounder Chang Yu-Lung is. We can certainly say the same about this man. We knew it would be close, and so far it is. Chang Yu-Lung 3, Jiaqing 3. So 4 is down, and a lovely shape on the 1.
High quality break.
He's certainly breaking better than Chang Yu-Lung. And we know that can often be a decisive factor at this level.
It usually is. The most important shot in 9-ball is the break.
We're all looking forward to the Moscone Cup later in the year, Ted. USA looking to back up their away win last time out by winning here at the Mandalay Bay in November. But when you look at all these Asian players now and what a force they are, do you think there's room for another competition involving an Asian team, perhaps taking on Europe and USA and alternating matches?
Certainly is, and I know Barry Hearn and Matchroom are looking into that possibility, trying to organize something along those lines.
If anyone's going to make it happen, it is Barry and Matchroom. Still only one break and run out in the match. That was from Wu in the opening rack, but good chance here.
There has been a couple of World Pool Team Championships. I was at one in Beijing about 7 or 8 years ago, and team from China won that, and there was like 24 teams from all over the world. It was an incredible collection of Pool's best players playing a team format.
And of course we have the World Cup of Pool. That'll be coming up again soon. You do have the President's Cup in golf, and that hasn't taken away from the Ryder Cup at all, so you could maybe have Asia playing Europe one year and playing USA the next, something like that. And I think if anything it would enhance the Moscone Cup to have a couple of events like that. So perhaps we'll see that in the medium-term future. In the immediate future, it looks as though Wu Jiaqing is about to regain the lead here.
That was pretty nice movement on that cue ball on the previous shot. And that has led to this. This 9-ball for a 4-3 lead for Wu.
So Chang won 3 in a row. Wu has done exactly the same in response. And he leads for the first time since he was 1-0 up. It's now 4-3.
Wu continued his momentum in rack 8, breaking and running out to extend his lead to 5-3. Rack 9 followed a similar pattern with another break and run out, seeing Wu further increase his advantage over Chang.
It is 3 breaking runs in a row. Wu Jiaqing is very much in command now. He leads 6-3.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, where Chang Yulong and Wu Jiaqing are battling it out for a place in the final of the US Open 9-ball championship. This is now rack 10. Wu leading 6-3 has the table. Commentary from Michael McMullen and Ted Lerner.
Look at this again, bringing the 1 ball around, but this time the 1 ball is covered by the blue 2.
Push out.
Chang will get a chance at the table after the push out.
First time in 4 racks we'll have seen him play.
So where do you push out against Chang Yulong, a man who will take just about any shot and make up a few of his own that nobody's ever seen?
Perhaps you could explain, Ted, particularly for viewers maybe watching in the UK who mightn't be so familiar, what exactly the push out is.
It's a shot that you can only do after the break shot, if generally played if you don't have a shot to the object ball.
Share your option.
And like this, you'll leave your opponent a shot, something he can think about. Maybe I'll take that. Maybe I can play safe with this. Maybe I can jump it and pot it. Not sure what I can do. A lot of times it now he has the option to take this shot or give it back to Wu.
Yeah, and
now
playing the push out, just to say, Ted, that playing the push out, you can actually do whatever you want.
So in this case, he tries to get a safe, but I don't think it's going to work. Not the end of the world for sure, but he leaves it open. To bring that 1 around, back up, and that's a very nice job right there. You'll probably see a jump shot here. Well, you never know with Chang, he might decide to kick it and try to make it. This is what is so fun about watching him play. He's going to kick at this. Well, he very nearly made that in the side pocket. But he's left it on. So another chance for Wu Jiaqing. Wu just has to hold that cue ball to get position for the blue 2.
Attention, please.
Similar scenario to last night for Chang. He had 3 while he watched Lu Haitao streak out to that 9-3 advantage.
Yeah, and speaking of last night, Jiaqing won 11-0 against Wang Can, who didn't pot a ball in the whole match. But even in that, I don't think he was playing as well as he is today.
There you can see him looking at the roadmap, figuring out, he already knows where he wants to go.
Yeah, it's great to watch him. You can almost see his pool computer working away in his head, figuring it all out.
He doesn't have an extension. That's why he kind of hurried back to his chair. So he had to actually put an extension onto the back of his cue so he can reach this and bring it down for that green 6.
An extension of a different sort. He's been so clinical and so effective at making the most of his opportunities. And the frustrating thing for here and the worrying thing for Chang is there was nothing he could do about it for the last 3 racks. But he did have an opportunity to intervene here. And if he ends up still losing the rack even in those circumstances, the alarm bells will certainly start.
Look at that. I hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're taking notes so you can bring some of these skills and some of these shots to the pool room yourself.
Yeah, those long distance positional shots in this match have been particularly excellent from Jiaqing. So he did pot a ball off the break, but he was hooked. Nevertheless, he still won it.
In rack 11, a great break from Wu saw him pocket 3 balls, but a surprise miss on the 2 allowed Chang to the table. After a tense period of safety play around the 6th ball, a foul by Chang gave Wu ball in hand. He didn't relinquish the opportunity, running out to move 8-3 ahead.
Current score is 8-3 in favor of Jiaqing, and he is breaking.
One shot can send Mr. Momentum over to the other side. Happens just like that. So yes, he still has a chance. So there's a ball down. That's the green 6. And could be a shot. Yep, there is a opening, I think, to both pockets.
We've talked so much about his world title at the age of 16. He hasn't won it again since, but it's not as if he hasn't won other big 9-ball titles. As you mentioned, he's been China Open champion. And of course, he teamed up with Lu Haitao to win the World Cup for China, beating the holders Austria in the final last year.
Look at the speed of that. A little further, and he wouldn't be able to see it.
It's like I was saying, those long distance positional shots he's played have been absolutely superb, so consistent with them throughout the match. That's been one of the things that has held this performance together and turned it into such a sweeping run of successive racks.
Well, there's something he didn't want. So, possibly an opening here. He wanted to bring that out into the center of the table. So will he try to pot this in the side or play safe? Looks like he's going for this. Off the rail. Dangerous. It's dangerous. Oh,
He scratched.
Wow. Oh, and he scratched.
So is this where the fight back begins?
Start the clock, please.
Well, if Chang doesn't start the fight back here, I think it's going to be lights out. He has no choice. He's got to put a few together here. This is a perfect time.
So he's lost 7 racks in a row. This semi-final appeared to be slipping away from him. But he's still hanging in there, still punching. Jiaqing still leads, but now it's reduced ever so slightly to 8-4.
Chang continued his momentum into rack 13, breaking then running out to narrow the score to 8-5. Welcome back to Las Vegas and the 2019 US Open, where Wu Jiaqing leads Chang Yulong 8-5 in their semi-final match. This is now rack 14. Chang is at the table. Commentary from Michael McMullen and Ted Lerner.
No, he's not going to be able to see the 1 ball. He's got the 3 down. So he'll have to kick at this and try to get safe. gone. But Wu has a very long shot on the one, and the 2 balls way back up table and not in the ideal position. So he'll have to come with a good one.
And for that reason, he decided there was no value in taking on the one.
And that just peeks itself out from behind the orange 5.
Such an important rack this now. If Chang wins it, back to 8-6. It's anyone's from there. And if Wu can take it and snap Chang's resistance, I feel it would have the potential to be the decisive moment.
He's left that on. But still, look at that blue 2 up table. It could go into the top right corner, but that's a pretty narrow window to bring that cue ball all the way around the table and get in there. I don't know how he does that, but he can certainly play safe from there. Or don't go offensive. And that's exactly what he's doing. Defense.
Oh, but that's gone all wrong.
Well, that certainly has.
And
But
the
again,
question, yes,
a lot of work here. It's
Yeah.
not just the 1 ball.
that is the question again, as he got a route to the 2. I don't think it goes past the 6 to the middle. I think the one you called, Ted, to the top right, I think that's the only pocket that goes to.
That's why nobody's been particularly anxious to make this one.
Well, managed to get round the back of the 5, but the 4 proved his nemesis.
Well, it's nice to see Chang take this one on. Maybe he'll kick it. Try to pot it.
Well, if that's what he's attempting, it's a key moment in the match. The
No,
difference, yeah, I was going to say the difference between getting it and not getting it could be huge, but
Cross table bank.
played it that
Very
way.
nice.
Oh, fantastic. And he's just come far enough for the 4 to the middle.
Sitting right out there for him.
That was high risk.
That's a Chang Yulong special. Oh no, that is so
Hold the clock,
unfortunate.
please.
That is just dumb luck.
Well, let's have a look at it again. Running into the 6, it was going to rob him of ideal
Start the
position
clock,
anyway,
please.
but far worse for it to scratch. And really from here,
Of all the places for that cue ball to go, in the perfect spot that sends it into the pocket. Wow.
could have gone another way, could have run into the 6 and just as easily left him hooked. But you talked about turning points, Ted. We may have seen one that swung things back in Chang's direction a bit. Now we've seen a turning point in the other direction.
Yeah, that scratch by Wu Jiaqing was definitely shaping up to be that turning point. You could just see it. And that unfortunate scratch right there, well, that's put an end to that run.
And we know how well he's been breaking in this match, Wu Jiaqing, and he'll have the break. at 9-5, which leaves him now just 2 racks away from that intriguing potential US Open final against Joshua Filler.
A break and run out by Wu in the next rack saw him move to the hill at the US Open semi-finals.
He's got 2 balls down.
2 and 6.
One is right over the pocket.
The 8 almost went in as well.
Is it hello finals?
He's only broken dry once in the whole match. It's been a big, big key for him.
That's a lovely shot. Brings it back for that red 3.
Chang Yulong will have some good memories to take away from this US Open. The way he came through strongly in the finish to see off Imran Majid. The epic match against Lu Haitao. But it looks as though those memories are coming to an end. And that he won't be adding another one here. I mentioned earlier the prospect of a Mosconi Cup style tournament evolving, maybe Europe playing Asia. And the final we now look set to have would be a taster for such a potential event.
Well, 14 years ago, it was a 16-year-old phenom, Wu Jiaqing, who won the World 9-Ball Championship on television in its hometown in dramatic fashion. He was the toast of the pool world, and now, 14 years later, we have another young phenom, 21-year-old Joshua Filler, currently ranked #1, is the world 9-ball champion, and everyone looking to just do things in pool perhaps that nobody has ever done. Well, how could you get a better final than this? So this 9-ball, and this will set up a mouth-watering final between Wu Jiaqing and Joshua Filler.
It's catching for Jiaqing. Wu is guaranteed $25,000, and much more importantly, he's in the final. Wu Jiaqing will play the world champion Joshua Filler for the US Open title.
So the lineup for the final for this year's US Open 9-Ball Championship is now complete. Will it be the world #1 Joshua Filler or China's Wu Jiaqing who lifts the Barry Berman Trophy and claims the $50,000 first prize and green winner's jacket? We'll find out next time when the 2019 US Open reaches its conclusion.